Most people always complain about how they're stuck at a certain weight, or they've been trying to lose fat for a long time, but they just seem to be stuck and the scale isn't budging. This is known as a plateau, but it's not actually a bad thing. As a matter of fact, it's inevitable. The difference is knowing what to do when you actually hit one, what it means, and how to make sure that you never hit them again. So that's what we're talking about in today's video. Hey everyone, it's John Mango and I'm back again. I'm representing Beyond the Iron. I drop weekly fitness content on this channel to help you get to your goals faster and more enjoyably. So if you're not interested in that, get out of here. If you are, hit the subscribe button. Don't even waste any more time. At the end of this one, I want to go into a little bit of detail as to how I have not actually hit or been stuck at a plateau for at least the last 4 years. So if you're interested in knowing how to do that, stick around. So again, we want to define what a plateau is. To start, a plateau is simply something that a lot of people like to use. It's a term that's been, commonplace in the industry for quite a while to basically explain when somebody is just constantly seeing results and then gets stuck, and it just seems like no matter what they do, I've cut out all the junk, I've been eating so healthy, I only eat X amount of calories, but that scale just won't budge. Am I building muscle? Is that why? Am I maybe not eating enough? Well, it's none of those things. We're actually going to discuss the steps you can take once you see that and once you realize that you've hit a plateau to make sure you keep moving forward. Now, the funny thing is, the only reason why a plateau is touted as a bad thing is because most people have no idea what to do when they come across one. Like I mentioned, people are saying, well, I'm trying everything. I've tried everything and nothing seems to work. And most of the time, that's actually a complete lie. Not a purposeful lie, just a matter of somebody lacking the understanding that if you're not aware of what you're doing, you have no idea how to make progress. So what I mean by this is the following, and this is going to start getting into the steps that you can take to make sure that when you do hit a plateau, again, which is inevitable, that you're able to move forward shortly after. The first step is going to be one that is not new if you've been following me for a little while, and that is you need to have very, very accurate data. And the only way to do that is by tracking things like your body weight, by tracking your calories, by tracking everything that you can track, by tracking calories, by tracking weigh-ins, by tracking measurements, by tracking all these things can actually give you accurate data. And of course, the more consistently and accurately you track them, the more accurately you're going to be able to accumulate the data. So most people go about it saying, well, I've hit a plateau because they weigh themselves once a month, and the last time they weighed themselves, they weighed roughly the same as time prior, or maybe they were down 2 pounds. Well, the issue with that is they have no data. How do they know that they've actually hit a plateau? Maybe that was a higher weigh-in just for that one day, right? So that's why weigh-ins daily is going to give you more accurate data, and a more accurate assumption can be made. A more educated assumption, a more educated analysis of that data can be made. Same thing with tracking calories. People say, well, I've my eating stayed the same, or I cut out all the junk, or I don't eat so much, all this stuff. But if you don't track your calories accurately and consistently, if you track your calories for 2 days and in the next 5 days you don't, again, you don't have the data. And this is where plateaus are the most common, and why 99% of people get actually stuck in them is because they don't actually know what's going on. So, like I mentioned, the first step is to track all the data. Specifically, we're talking about weigh-ins, on the scale at a consistent time, as well as nutrition, your calories, and your macronutrients. Also, you could track things like measurements and take progress photos to aid, and again, more data is better, but the key here is we want constants. If everything's changing all the time and you're not tracking any of it, again, you'll never know what needs to change in order for you to keep moving forward. Now, a plateau is going to come along. Let's say you're taking daily weigh-ins and you find out the averages of those weigh-ins, and you notice that a plateau has occurred, meaning the weigh-in from last week to this week is roughly the same, and you want to accelerate it according to the rate of weight loss that you would prefer. Like if you're trying to lose 1.5 pounds a week and the weigh-in from last week to this week has only got you down 0.5 pound or less than that, then you might assume that you're at a plateau. And again, if you're tracking and you have the data, You actually are happy that you see this because this feedback is going to give you the power to know, okay, I need to change something here. Maybe you need to drop the calories. That's one of the options you can do. But again, how much do you drop calories by? How do you drop them? How many should you be at? Those are questions that somebody who has not been tracking will ask because they'll have no idea. So if you've been tracking, you'll understand, hey, I'm going to cut my calories by 50 or maybe 100 or 150. Essentially, just cut them until you realize that rate of weight loss that you're after, right? 1.5 pounds in the case that I provided earlier. Maybe another thing you can do is add cardio. So maybe you're going to add an extra 100 calories of cardio that you're going to burn every day. Maybe you're going to add carbs and add cardio. Maybe you're going to add cardio and decrease calories simultaneously. There's different approaches you could take by simply manipulating how much exercise you're doing, how much nutrition you're intaking, how many carbs, fats, proteins, and all of that stuff. And that's how you assure that you keep moving forward, right? Not only that, but you need to keep the goal moving forward as well. People have a goal of losing 20 pounds, then they lose the 20 pounds, and they don't look as good as they wanted to, but they forget to set the next goal of losing another 20 pounds or whatever the case may be. And this is similar to putting a carrot in front of a rabbit. It's going to work hard to get that carrot nonstop. But then if it gets the carrot and there's not another one placed in front of it, then there's no incentive to keep moving forward, right? Right, Bozy? Right, exactly. See, he knows. So that's basically a rundown of what a plateau is, how you recognize it, okay? Again, weighing yourself once a month, it's just not enough data to actually make an educated analysis of what's going on. Maybe you didn't hit a plateau, but you probably did since you're not tracking anything. So it needs to start with tracking. You need to track your calories, you need to track your macronutrients, you need to track your weigh-ins, and then all that data combined is going to give you feedback, right? When you start evening out and not seeing the progress you want on the scale anymore, or maybe you're not seeing the progress in the gym as you would before when you were in a surplus if you're trying to gain muscle, then it's simple. You need to adjust your caloric intake or your caloric expenditure via cardio, more exercise, more frequency in your workouts. It's really up to you. There's no one way of doing it. There's different ways according to schedule preferences, desired rate of weight loss or weight gain, etc., etc. But the key there is, and this is segueing into how I've been able to avoid a plateau for the last 4 years. The key is when you get that data, which is only possible by tracking the data consistently over long periods of time, you're going to receive this data and you're going to notice, okay, I've hit a plateau here. It's time to adjust something. You decide what you're going to adjust and you move forward. And again, on top of that, you need to keep having a new goal. So for myself, how I've been able to avoid plateaus for the last 4 years or more is because when I realized this, when I started accurately and consistently tracking all my data, I was always moving forward. When I would hit my goal of cutting all the way down to 200 pounds and being X% body fat, what's the new goal? Am I going to keep going or am I going to start bulking up again? Am I going to maintain? How am I going to do that? What variables? I'm tracking all of them so I have full control and power over them. And from there, typically I'd say, okay, I'm going to bulk up now to 215 pounds and I want to do it at a rate of 1 pound per week for 15 weeks. For example, that's great. So now I know, okay, I'm going to bring my calories up and track my weigh-ins. As my calories are up, my weigh-ins start going up and then they plateau. So I would raise calories slightly again via carbs or any other macro I decide. Or maybe I add cardio and add more calories and the weight keeps going up again. Plateau for a bit, maybe a week at most, increase, and so on, okay? It really is a numbers game when it comes down to it, but for that, you need to know your numbers. So that's essentially how you can avoid plateaus, and if you're currently stuck at that plateau, then it's simply a result of you not tracking or knowing anything. Sure, you could jump on the next diet, you can try the keto and the other bullshit diets, and you might start seeing some results again, and you might think, oh, this is great, this got me through my plateau, except it's only going to lead to another plateau inevitably, because the only way to avoid a plateau forever, for the rest of your life, is 1, know your numbers, 2, adjust your numbers when need be, in other words, when you get feedback that you're at a plateau, and 3, always keep the goal moving. So once you get the carrot, make sure you place another carrot in front of you you, or else you're gonna get complacent and you will inevitably hit another plateau, and you might be stuck there for life if you're not careful. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it made sense. If so, or any thoughts, comments, concerns about it, leave it in the comment section below, and as well as any other topics you'd like to see, because I love cranking out the content for you and I want to make what you want to see. Every now and then I like to make what I want to make too. But with that said, guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the dislike if you want to get roasted. Don't forget to share it with your friends, and of course subscribe if you haven't already, because you already watched the damn video. You obviously liked it, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, because you know I drop videos every damn week. I'm out.